Oh,
Right.
I did it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we will go for 60 minutes. We'll do a whole hour of channeling. And I will
Yes.
see you when we are all finished. I hope you have a
Yes,
great time
thank you.
today.
Yes.
You're very welcome. All right, it is our species' highest joy and passion to be able to interact with you in this way through this channel this day. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm very fine. Thank you. How about you?
We are also doing quite well, very fine as well. Thank you for asking. And how may we assist you in your exploration of physical reality?
Oh, yes. So my friends have many questions about time leap.
Oh, how exciting. How timely that they're asking about time leaps.
Yes.
For you are experiencing now in your collective an acceleration in your shifting rate. It means you're shifting more quickly. Our species has said in the past, you are shifting reality billions of times per second. That is now increasing billions upon billions of times per second. You are beginning to shift reality so much more rapidly. Things are manifesting as a result much more quickly. Things are speeding up. Things are accelerating. And it will lead your species into total nowness. It will be as if you all occupy the same present moment. You won't see people stuck in the past or stuck in the future on your planet anymore. People are going to become grounded in the moment. And from that grounded anchor point that is the present moment, your species shall expand into the stars.
Okay. So in Japan, time leap means that only the consciousness returns to the past body to start life again from that point. It is not like a time slip in which the entire body is transported by a vehicle, but rather only the consciousness returns to the past. So it is a phenomenon in which only one's own consciousness travels through time and space, and that consciousness is transferred to the body of one's past or future self.
Yes, this is oftentimes described as a walk-in.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for example, there is a story about a mother who was involved in a bicycle accident and woke up as an elementary school student. This kind of phenomenon is called time leap in Japan. Today, I would like to ask questions on the main theme of consciousness time leap. So,
Sure. So this phenomenon actually has to do with the idea of a person who possesses a consciousness that is so large that they're actually able to manifest as multiple people. It's like one body cannot hold them. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
Think of it being so big, they'd need two bodies to hold their energy. Well, one of those bodies may exist in the future. One of those bodies may exist in the past. That one in the past may have developed up until a certain point, and perhaps that represented that body's harvest point. What we mean is your body is growing your soul. It's growing your spirit. You're evolving yourself through anchoring into the body. At a certain point, your soul and spirit reach a certain stage or certain level of development. You could say they are like a plant that has reached maturity, spiritual maturity. And when that happens, sometimes The consciousness whom is controlling both bodies will simply absorb the soul and spirit from the one body they have been living in, and they then just transport it into the second body, because the second body is the one they're more concerned with. Yes, yes. And that past self, in a sense, may actually continue. It may not actually translate as that past self dying. They may continue. In a sense, it can be as if the soul and spirit are copied, yes? And then are inserted into that future self. And then that person in the past wakes up as the future self. That's one way it can happen. And of course, other ways it can happen are the past self actually dies when they go to sleep, and they're just transferred immediately to who their future self would be. Without a life review, without anything like that, they just continue. Because again, that future self really is just them. It's still their soul. Yes, it's like their soul has extended into two people. So in a certain way, it's not even like they really died. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. All right.
So this is a similar example, but first one is, for example, one person has a story about going from being 21st years old back to being 13 years old as a junior high school. He says that in his dream, he was playing soccer as a junior high school student, and it became his reality. Is it really possible for such a dream to become reality?
Of course, yes, because when you dream, you are dreaming in a multidimensional state of mind. It's not like normal linear thinking. Multidimensional thinking means your thoughts can penetrate through space and time. Your thoughts can penetrate into other realities, and it can allow you to see the future. Yes? You can actually see the future before it happens. Absolutely. Yes, because the future exists right now. It exists inside the present. It is like the future is a plant. Yes, and the plant grows from a seed. Yes, but the seed has within it the DNA of the plant. The whole story of that plant is in the DNA. Well, that seed is in the present moment. The present moment contains the seed that grows into the plant or the tree that is the future. So you already contain knowledge of what will happen in the future within you right now. The story of the future lives within you. And in dreams, you have an opportunity to reveal that to yourself. Does that make sense?
So could you explain in detail how it works, please?
Sure. Well, the idea is that you can make contact with your future self when you go to sleep. So at night, when your consciousness resonates more greatly, vibrationally speaking, with the astral plane, your consciousness can then open up different portals that allow for you to access information from different versions of yourself. For example, you could interact with a self that you'll be 2 weeks from now and receive information from 2 weeks in the future. You could interact with a version of yourself that's 3,000 years in the future and receive very deep spiritual wisdom and guidance. You, of course, could also open up portals to the past, and you could interact with past versions of yourself. And the idea is it is your higher self, your higher consciousness that is doing all of this. Your physical self oftentimes has no knowledge that this is happening, but the higher self, because it's not bound by space and time in the same way that the physical self is able to access easily and conveniently whatever information is needed for physical self to thrive in physical reality. So what we would say is, in order to access that higher self level of consciousness so you can communicate with past or future selves in your dream, what we would advise is meditate on the energies of the higher self before you go to bed. Use certain rituals, use certain tools, use certain exercises to get yourself into the higher self state of mind before sleep, and then you'll become conscious of these portals that we're talking about, and you can increase different skills. For example, you can increase your skill of prophecy, which is where you have a vision of the future and you know what will happen. That's a muscle. You can train that. You can become literally a prophet if you wanted to, with enough refinement, with enough training. So what we would advise is write your higher self a letter, like a prayer or a letter of affection and appreciation before bed. Sign it. You can even put nice oils on it so it smells good. You can draw on it, decorate it, but put it under your pillow. Sleep with this, and each night write to your higher self. You will start to dream with your higher self. And then when you wake up in the morning, write back. Yes? Write your response. Yes? So in the morning, write your dream down. Write the higher self's response to your message down, because your dream will be a response to the letter. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
All right, excellent.
So second one is maybe it's similar, but so what is the most effective way to go back in time leap?
Well, we'll talk about it like this. The person on your planet, Neville Goddard, referred to the idea of timeline editing. And this represents going into a meditative state and visualizing different past experiences and putting yourself into that past memory of you, putting yourself into that person you used to be, feeling their body, feeling their emotions, but act differently, choose different options, rearrange the moment so it flows according to your preference, and then feed that moment energy, spiritual energy. Put your heart into it, put your love into it, put your prayers into it. Make this visualization feel more real than the memory that you have. And then when you're finished, absorb this visualization into you. And you will actually have shifted to an alternate reality where you have a different past. Now, at first, you might not notice a lot of physical changes taking place. However, if you stick with it, if you continue this process, what you will find is that you will start to experience what people call the Mandela effect. Do you know about this?
Yes.
Yes, you will start to experience this. Your past will actually appear physically different if you get good at this skill, but it must be practiced with repetition. If it's just done once in a while, you'll have minimal effect. You'll get some hits, but it won't be strong. If you train, you get really good at it, and then you get a hit every time.
Thank you.
Yes.
So the third one is, so what methods can we use to make time leap easier? For example, should I remember the past, visit places of memories, do magical thing or qigong, and so on?
Sure, yes, train in energetic exercises, Kabbalistic practices, Taoist practices, any type of practice where you're circulating qi through your body will be needed in the execution of these skills. Without energy work, opening portals and transporting your consciousness can be rather challenging. So train in qigong, train in energy arts, become at least an adept. You will need to be at least an adept to be able to really do these things, such as creating time leaps. So an adept is someone that can easily use energy to create whatever they need in their life. Yes, whatever they need. If they need money, they can call money. If they need friends, they can call friends. This is an adept, yes? A person must train in energy work until they are at that level. Once they are at that level, they will be capable of really opening such a portal in a way that will change very greatly the nature of their experience of physical reality.
Thank you. So fourth question is, so how can I go to the world of my imagination? Is it possible to go to the fantasy world or a world that is a complete change of reality? Also, can I change my gender, appearance, constitution, and so on, as I have imaged?
All of that. So all you have to do is picture the reality you wish to astral project into. Think of the fantasy world, the imagination world you wish to go to. Picture it and make it real in your mind. You have to make it big. Yes, you have to make it like a world. Create an entire world. And then imagine you can walk into that world without physically moving your body. Just use your mind. Imagine you can travel in that world and explore that world and meet the beings of that world. And it's very real. This is what astral projection is. This is how you access the spirit world. The spirit world exists in your mind. You must understand that. No human being, no spirit world. No human being, no experience at all. It is the human consciousness that creates the experience of reality. And when we say human consciousness, we mean consciousness that is capable of what you would call sentience. It is sentience that births realities. It is self-awareness that births realities. We call human conscience basic sentience. Human consciousness would equal, in our perspective, basic sentience. So it is that basic sentience of your human mind that creates your experience of spirit, that creates your experience of the astral plane, that creates your experience of the imagination. It is generated from your consciousness. It does not exist outside of you, even though it might look like it does. So what this means is, when you go into this astral plane, when you visualize yourself entering into this fantasy land, do whatever you wish, change your gender, change your body, practice different skills, do whatever you wish. And then bring the energy into yourself, and you'll find that the astral visualization begins to tell your physical reality what to do. You'll start to become like the visualization. Your life will become like the visualization.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So fifth question is, how much do I have to put aside my regrets in order to time leap? Do I have to cut off contact with people and cut off food like a monk?
What does that have to do with regret? This is a question that, no offense, is a little jumbled, because attachment to food is very different than a regret. Attachment to a person is very different than a regret. So we need to separate these topics. Regret will hold you back. Sure. A regret is like a weight. Yes. When you regret something, it feels like a part of your mind is stuck in time, right? Like it's stuck in the past when you regret something. That will anchor you. Yes, it will interfere with the time leap. Attachment to food, not so much, because it's likely whatever reality you jump into will have food. So food's not going to be a burden. That's okay. In relationship to people, this can be something that holds you back. If your attachment to people is too strong, yes, it can be an anchor. But that doesn't mean you have to cut people out to experience this type of time leap. No. It is about loving people. It's about treating people well. It's about respecting people, whilst not being attached to them. Yes, emotionally. Let them just be and be responsible for yourself. Yes. Yes. Now, not everybody needs to do that. Some people, the emotional attachment is important. Emotional attachment between mothers and their children, for example, very important. Emotional attachment between two friends can be very important. But if you're trying to shift into another reality permanently, well, that emotional connection will hold you here. It's supposed to hold you here. Yes, it's not a bad thing. It's supposed to keep you from slipping into another reality. It's supposed to keep you here. But if you dissolve that emotional connection, yes, it will liberate you in a type of way, energetically speaking, that will make the time stream more accessible for you to access in the manner that you describe as a time leap.
Thank you.
Yay.
So sixth question is, so if a friend goes back by time leap, what happens to that friend? Is she an empty shell, or does she go on with her life?
We already answered this. When a person goes through a time leap, they end up merging with the counterpart that they accessed vibrationally, who occupies whatever reality they time leaped into. They become another person. But that other person, like I said, is like another version of themselves already. So they're just absorbed. And it's like they have the knowledge of both lives as one person. Sometimes the person has no knowledge of that old lifetime at all, but sometimes the person does maintain memory, and it's like they're two people at once. Yes? Governed by a super self, the higher self, which is, you could say, the blending of both together. So sometimes that happens. Yes. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And like we said, sometimes when people on your planet die physically, spiritually, it's just a time leap. They just jump right into another person. So sometimes that can happen too. There's all types of ways this can unfold.
I got it. Thank you.
Of course.
So, seventh question. Does the vague memory of the past I want to go to cause me to go back in time to a strange other world?
Does the memory of the past that I want to go to cause me to go back in time to a strange world? Well, it depends on how you relate to that past memory. For example, if you hold on to that past memory in a way that is, let's say, codependent, in a way that is emotionally unhealthy, then yes, it's almost as if you're stretching your consciousness. It's like your consciousness is in the present moment, but it stretches seemingly backwards in time to connect to this sort of nightmare reality, this judgment reality of the past. But that's not a bad thing, because if you find yourself doing that, then that's your way of telling yourself that you need to let go of that judgment. You need to let go of that negative opinion that you're holding on to in relationship to that past memory. You must accept that past memory and integrate it if you wish to truly move into the next chapter. And you can take that step whenever you're ready. There's no rush, there's no pressure, but that's what's happening. So yes, it's like your mind is stretching, and it's stretching into this strange world that represents the world of past judgment. But should you let go of the judgments, that strange world will become beautiful, and it will easily integrate with your mind, and you'll be able to move on in a light-hearted, playful way.
Yep.
Yes.
So, eighth question. I heard that some people forgot their memories at the time leap destination. Is there anything we can do to keep our memories alive?
You must have a strong sense of self. If you cannot remember your dreams when you wake up, is it likely you will remember your memories after a time leap? No, it's not. You must remember your dreams. If you do not remember your dreams when you wake up, it is unlikely you will maintain memory during the time leap. If you can train yourself to remember your dreams at night and write them down every day, should you take a time leap, should you shift in that way, you'll maintain memory. It's the same thing with life and death. If you die in an unawakened state, it is likely that you will forget your life once you incarnate into a new body. You will forget who you were. But if you pass away, if you die in that sense, while in a state of alignment and presence and devotion to the source, you will not forget who you are. In your next lifetime, if you choose one, you'll remember your story. Yes. So it's all about one's level of consciousness. You must have a strong consciousness. If you don't have a strong consciousness, it's going to be susceptible to erase, to cleansing. Yes. Just as if you have a sand castle, because it's so soft, it's subject to decay because of the water. Yes, from the tide, it will erase it. You don't need a sand castle. You need a castle made of brick and stone, yes, to withstand the tide. Your mind is like this. You must have a mind that can withstand those currents of the astral plane that dissolve information, like the water dissolves the sand castle. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Thank you. The ninth question.
Okay.
I have rarely had lucid dreams, but is it possible for such an ordinary person to make a time leap with training?
It is possible, yes, but it's more likely if you're skilled. Yes, it's more likely if you have practiced the art. But yes, it can happen to a normal person, and sometimes it does. But you have to remember, when it happens to a normal person, they're not normal. They just look it. Their soul is very advanced, and that's how they were able to do it. But it's an unconscious skill because they haven't practiced in this life yet. But in a past life, they mastered it. So it just seems to randomly happen to them. That's why it seems to happen to normal people. These aren't normal people, though. These are very powerful souls that just have not awakened yet in their journey. So sometimes the time leap phenomenon is their higher self's way of getting them to awaken just how powerful they are. And it can be a dramatic way to wake someone up. But hey, They're powerful beings. They're able to handle it.
Yep.
You're welcome.
So, 10th question. Is it possible to do a time leap in out-of-body experience? If so, please let me know how to do so.
Well, sure, yes, but it has to do with, again, opening portals, traveling to different parallel realities that you prefer, that represent the lifetimes you'd like to connect with. And the idea is to then insert yourself into your counterpart's body and then simply live their life for a little bit. And the idea is each day, do that exercise more and more and more. When you're done the exercise, pull all of the visualization into you. Pull it into you. Pull the visualization into your third eye as energy and then down into your intestines, like it's coming in and down. Pull your visualization in and down. Put it into your intestines. It's like you're eating it. You're digesting it. Therefore, you will become like it. And then at a certain point, the exercise will get so strong that when you open your eyes, you actually are that other person. Eventually, that will be the end result if that's how you train. You may have to train for a while to get it to that level of refinement, but that is possible. That's how you would do it.
Okay, thank you. So, 11th question. So, what is the difference between out-of-body experience and lucid dreaming?
Well, sometimes in a lucid dream, you are interacting with what you would consider to be your own psychology, your own body, your own mind, yes? But in an out-of-body experience, you're leaving your personal boundary, and now you're going into the collective sphere. Yes, that's the difference. So an out-of-body experience is you leave the boundary of personal psychology, and you expand into collective psychology, collective world, collective experiences. So you can expand into those worlds. You can have an out-of-body experience, yet it may not be lucid for you. You might have it and have no idea. Yes. And you may have a lucid dream, but it might not be an out-of-body experience. So those are some of the differences, some of the similarities.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So, 12th question.
All right.
Regarding time leap using lucid dreaming, some time leapers, people who have had time leaps, say that lucid dreaming is essential, while others say that you must not be aware that it is a dream. Is it necessary to concentrate without thinking that it is a dream in order to time leap?
Well, it's important to recognize that you're dreaming so your conscious mind can awaken. If you don't recognize that you're dreaming, it's not going to be a lucid dream, is it? It's going to be a normal dream. So you have to recognize you're dreaming. It's essential. But your job is to not react to it. You must recognize, oh, this is a dream, but stay calm. You must control yourself. You must control your excitement. If you get too excited, it'll wake you up. So once you recognize you're dreaming, you must make yourself relaxed. How do you do that? By practicing while you're awake. So while you're awake, remember, oh, wait, this is a dream, and then relax, relax, relax. And if you train like that every 10 minutes, oh, wait, this is a dream, relax, relax, relax. And you do that for one day, you will do it in your sleep, you understand? You'll do it in your sleep if you train like that. Every 10 minutes, just say, oh, I'm dreaming, and then take 3 deep, relaxing breaths. You'll do it in your dream, and it will wake you up without waking you up.
Thank you.
Of course, you're very welcome.
13th question.
Oh, how exciting. Our favorite number.
Oh, yeah. So, if I could time leap, would there be a penalty for doing something different from my normal life?
One more time, ask that for us, please.
Okay. If I could time leap, would there be a penalty for doing something different from my normal life?
It depends what you mean by penalty. Well, let's say you time leaped and you have children in your past life, yes? You time leaped into some other lifetime, and now you are aware you've time leaped. You didn't forget. And now you say, oh my goodness, I'm in this new reality. But what about my children? Well, now there's going to be potentially a sense of regret. There might be a sense of pain. So these are important things to consider. Remember, the reality that you leave will have things that right now might mean a lot to you. They might be really important to you. And sure, you could leave and go into another reality, just like you could get into your car and leave and go to another district. Right? And if you're uncomfortable leaving your family and your loved ones right now, if that would cause you pain to get in your car and drive away from your family and leave them forever, then understand a time leap is essentially the same thing. So it would feel the same. Yes, you'd be in a new reality, and sure, that'd be exciting, but you'd be leaving behind a life. Some people don't care. That's what they want. They want to leave their life behind. That's no problem for them. But not everyone's like that. They value what they have in their life. They don't want to leave that behind. So why jump into someone else's life then if you like what you already got? If the grass really isn't greener on the other side, why bother? But if the grass is greener on the other side, if that's where you're being guided to go, then of course, go. But go in a way that's respectful. Go in a way that is gentle. Go in a way that is compassionate to all the people in your life who you care about. Yes? You don't have to just rip yourself away. You can gently leave. Just like you would say goodbye to someone going on a trip. You could do that.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
So 14th question. I have had one realistic childhood lucid dream, but I could not time leap. Why is that?
Because you didn't need to go to the other reality. Whatever you're doing in this one was more important. Yes. Yes. If you needed to jump into someone else's shoes, don't you think you would have done it by now? Your life is the sculpture. Focus on your life. Don't run away into someone else's life. Visit other realities. That's fine. Sure. Visit other realities, but focus on your life. This life is a gift. There's something here for you to do that will change the world. And you might think it's the smallest thing. You might think it doesn't even matter. But believe us when we say you have no idea how much it matters. What you do creates everything. And what you do in this lifetime is of ultra importance in terms of how you create the future. It is this time on earth, this current era on earth, that flavors all human future-based realities. What happens now on earth influences heavily the quality of the future. So what you're doing on earth right now is important. We would encourage you live this life to its fullest, connect to the other lives, the past lives, the future lives, receive wisdom from them, but do not run to them as if you are escaping. Stand your ground. Be strong in your life. Don't run away, or your past will chase you all the way to the new reality that you take a time leap into. It will be like a ghost follows you and haunts you unwaveringly should you run from who you are. So don't haunt yourself. Don't curse yourself with the ghost of your past. Instead, face your life and use this information, use your powers, use your abilities to live your life like a god whom sees all other beings as gods and goddesses. Makes sense?
Oh, yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
So 5th question. So is there anything I should do to make my dream clearer?
Sure. There's a lot of things. So reduce caffeine intake. That means no tea, no coffee after 3 p.m. So no caffeine, no coffee. Stay away from alcohol, especially before bed. Before bed, gaze into a candle meditations. We are going to give a secret meditation here. Are you ready? We say secret because it is very powerful and has not been shared before. You understand?
Oh, really?
So it is very strong. It is for your friends, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Use it with responsibility and power. Use wisdom with this. It will activate just about everything if you do it long enough, all right?
Okay.
Gaze into the fire, eyes gently closed. Inhale, pulling the fire in through a triangle. The triangle is your 2 eyes and your 3rd eye. The light comes in and goes into the center of your brain on the inhale, and on the exhale, send the energy up to your crown. Yes? So you're making the English letter L. Yes? Coming in and up. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. So you're pulling the fire in, exhaling it up. You're not making a circle, though. Immediately on your next inhale, pull the fire in, exhale up. Fire in, exhale up, like this. It's not like that, though. It's not a circle. It's just coming into your crown on the exhale and staying here, building up. Yes? Do at least 18 to 36 of these. Then take this energy and circulate it through what is called the microcosmic orbit. Run it through your body. Bring all the energy from the crown down the front of the body on the exhale. And on the inhale, bring it up your spine, make a circle. Do at least 9 of these to finish. This ending is very important. When you're done, bring the energy down into your belly button, into your hara or dantian. Yes?
Yes.
This will help to balance the energy so it's not too stimulating. Now, a person after they do this will have a lot of energy. All right? A lot of energy, which means they may not be able to sleep right away. So after this exercise, drink some sleepy tea. Yes, some herbal tea to help with rest. Do some light meditation. Do some gentle yoga, self-massage. Start to just relax the body. Yes? And eventually your relaxation will turn to restfulness, and then you'll be ready for sleep. So do this practice maybe around 6 p.m. This candlelight practice, yes? Not too late, okay? So not right before bed. Early in the evening do this. And then by the time it's bedtime, the energy will be wearing down. Does this serve you? Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, yes, thank you.
If you do the candle meditation, even though it may still be bright in the sky at 6, darken the room. Make the room as dark as possible.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So 16th question. According to some people, when they mastered Qigong, their dreams become more realistic. So what is the relationship between dreams and Qigong?
Yes, yes. So we'll talk about it like this. You're familiar with the orbit? Yes, microcosmic orbit. Yes. Are you familiar with this technique?
Maybe no.
The technique of circulation. Yes, yes. When you're doing energy work on the body, whenever you're doing Qigong, moving Qi through the body, the meridians, the channels, whenever you're doing this, you're affecting the energy body, etheric body. The etheric body gets stronger and stronger and stronger the more a person practices Qigong. Then, eventually, this etheric body, which exists as the closest layer of the aura to the physical body, this etheric body then begins to feed the astral body. Astral body's out here. It's a bigger part of your aura. This astral body, this is what you dream with. This is the dream vehicle. So once your etheric body has enough power from the Qigong, the etheric body then gives the extra power to the astral body. Once the astral body has enough power, the dreams get very real. Dreams get very strong. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So 17th question. What is the effective use of collective consciousness? For example, would it be effective for a large number of people to aim for a time leap at the same time? If so, how many people would it take to make it effective? And how can we increase its power?
All right. If these exercises are done on a major earth chakra, they will be incredibly potent, incredibly effective. So there are a few chakras to choose from, but are you familiar with the formation called Uluru in Australia?
Oh, Uluru, yes.
Yes. This is in many ways connected to the root chakra of the human body, the tailbone, at the bottom of the spinal cord. Yes, the tailbone at the very bottom. That is like the tailbone of your planet. It's not the true tailbone. True tailbone is South Pole. But Uluru is like the human, or you could say human world version of the tailbone. It's the version of the tailbone your species has the closest access to right now. So it functions as the tailbone, which means that if certain meditations are done on Uluru, it will affect the whole planet. Because what happens at the bottom of the spine, the sacrum, affects the rest of the spine. Yes, if the sacrum is misaligned, the whole spine will change. Yes, if you change the bottom of a building, yes, you could make the whole building crumble. Yes, take the wrong brick out, the whole building could fall apart. Yes, think of it as the cornerstone. So if you make energetic changes to human consciousness while on Uluru or nearby, it will affect the entirety of the planet. So if you time this astrologically with certain celestial dates, equinoxes, solstices, full moons, powerful days, the power will be higher. So your magic, your energy work will be stronger. And of course, from here, the idea is when you're doing the meditation, you want to feel like the entire world is doing it with you. You want to feel your heart connect to everyone. You want to feel your crown connect to everyone. Yes? You must connect the heart and the crown to all people. In terms of numbers, we would recommend have a group at least 13 in size. At least. Ideally, a group of 36 would be another number that is useful. From 36, 72 would be the next number of utility. And after this, 144. Yes. If you can manage 144 people, many things on your planet will change. It will seem as if you have moved through an instant gateway. But remember, inside the 13 is the 144. Remember that. It's just a smaller version of that same power. So it will still be powerful, but it will not affect maybe everyone in the same way. But if you get up to 144 practitioners, that will affect the entirety of human consciousness.
Yes, what exciting.
Very exciting. We have something exciting to say to you. We predict that such a thing shall occur. In one way or another, someone shall do what we have said. In one way or another, this shall occur. And we are very excited for what is.
Thank you.
Yes, you are welcome.
So 18th question. So where is the ego located?
Well, it's not as if it's located in one part of your body. So think of it like this. Imagine that your body is covered in a bubble of water. Yes, think of water. You're covered in a fluid-filled sack. You're inside of a fluid-filled sack. The ego is like an eel that swims around the inside of this sack. So your ego is not always in one part of your body. Sometimes your ego is in the head, but like an eel, it might be wrapped around you a little bit. Yes, maybe it is wrapped around some of your organs. Yes, it depends on the quality of your ego. If someone has a toxic ego, their ego is like a snake. It is like a snake that is wrapping around their organs and crushing them. Yes? And these people are in pain. They are unhappy people, and they treat other people poorly because their ego is constricting them in an unnatural way. You understand?
Oh, yes.
When a person has a healthy ego, their ego is not like an eel or a snake. Instead, their ego becomes the bubble. Their ego becomes their entire aura. And that allows for the ego to feel unified with the source, unified with the one. And the ego is not a problem then. The ego is a friend. It's like a looking glass. You look through a glass to be able to see a certain reality. That's all the ego is. It's just a looking glass. But when the ego is toxic, it's like a serpent, and it can wrap around a person and actually energetically choke them if their ego is unhealthy or is holding on to unhealthy belief systems.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, 19th question. So, there is an urban legend in Japan that there is an old man of space-time who returns people lost in another world to their original world. Is it possible to get lost in another world by chance? And what is the true identity of the man of time and space who returns people to their original world?
There are beings that exist between the worlds. So think of it like this. Think of all of these different realities as bubbles in the ocean, bubbles of air in the ocean. Yes, between each bubble, there is water and space. Yes? So between those worlds, people can get lost as they travel. So there are beings that exist within the space between the worlds that guide those that are lost. So this is a particular guardian being whom assists beings in traveling interdimensionally. A being like this has a very important job. Their primary job is not necessarily assisting in transference from one world to another, although that is something they do. Their main job is actually making sure energy can pass through the worlds. Just as your lungs make sure air can pass through your nasal passageway into your lungs, yes? That suction allows for air to come in. These beings are like that. They are responsible for the energy flow between the different realities, between the different worlds. Qi is flowing through these different realities, and it gives them life. Think of it like this. Physical reality is like a storybook. Without energy, it's like there's no one reading it. It's like it's just a book on the shelf. But when a timeline or a parallel reality receives life force, it's like God picks up the book and starts reading. So these are the beings comes into your reality, and these beings help it to get there. And sometimes when people are traveling between the worlds and get lost, a being like this will notice and will help them find their way back.
Okay, thank you.
There is a special word for a being like this. We are going to attempt to translate it. It is a Native American word, a kachina.
A kachina.
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 Kachina. Yes, look into this idea. You may find some interesting similarities between this hero you're talking about in these stories and other heroes of a similar quality from other culture.
You?
Yes.
So 20th question.
All right.
If I take over the body of my past self through time leap, what happens to my consciousness or soul that has been taken over?
Please repeat this question one more time.
Okay. If I take over the body of my past self through time leap, what happens to my consciousness that has been taken over?
It merges with you and you become both people at once. Yes. And this is exactly what's happening right now. When you see the channel before you channeling us, that's what's going on. You're seeing the channel and me put together as one person. You understand?
Oh, yes, yes.
That's what's happening right in front of you. This is the result of an active time leap. We are the ones doing the time leap. The channel's also sort of doing a time leap by plugging into our reality. Yes? And that's what allows for this communication stream to be possible. So it's something that happens in a minor way when channeling, but in a greater way, what can happen is a full-blown absorption. For example, I could theoretically absorb the channel into me, and he would appear to vanish from your earth. Such a thing is possible. This can be done, but it's not necessarily what needs to be done right now. What's needed now is his presence here so he can deliver our message. If we just absorbed him, well, then who's going to deliver our message? Yes? But we're letting you know it's possible. So you're seeing a minor version of a time stream or a time leap here during the channeling. And me and the channel both exist. When the channeling is finished, he will be a little bit more like me, and I will be a little bit more like him, but we both continue our lives. Yes? Because that's a minor time leap. A major time leap would be a full-blown absorption, where he would appear to vanish or perhaps die, and he would simply become me. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yep.
You're very welcome.
So 21st question. Some people have precognitive dreams or lucid dreams frequently, but others do not dream them at all. What is the difference?
Sure. Well, you may not require dreams. Remember that dreams exist at the level that you call the plane that is the astral plane. The astral plane is beneath what is called the mental plane. The mental plane is beneath what is called spirit plane. Astral, mind, spirit. The level of astral is the level of dreams. So if you are a soul and you're evolving past the astral and you go into the mental, you leave the dream world. So you don't dream. It's just void. No dreams. You've evolved past them. Yes? So it's okay if you're not dreaming. It's all right. What it means is you're more awake. Yes? But what that asks of you is the following. You must live your life like it's a dream. That's the trade-off. If you do not remember your dreams at night, it means your responsibility to yourself is to live your physical life as if it is a dream, because you can. You're that powerful. So beings who don't remember dreams are usually very powerful beings. Keep this in mind. It doesn't mean something's wrong. It means you have a lot of power, and you have the power to move and sculpt your physical life as if it were made of clouds, like a dream.
Thank you.
Yes.
So 22nd question. So there is a training to displace or shift the time that is actually following and the time in consciousness. For example, I train my brain to replay an image from 1 second ago. And since I started doing this training, I have been seeing deja vu more frequently. If I continue this training, will it loosen the time frame?
Yes, you will go into temporal dilation, which is a state of mind that causes time to essentially seem non-existent. So it can root you into the present moment very strongly. It can also really dissolve the illusion of past and future. And furthermore, it can also get to a point where time seems to freeze. It can put you into a state where it actually seems as if you are in a reality where nothing moves. For a moment, it will be as if things are frozen. That can also be created as a side effect here. This has to do with essentially your brain processing the past, present, and future all at once. And when that happens, it can actually be like the pause button is hit in terms of external and internal time. Yes.
Thank you. So 23rd question. Some people say that it is possible to time leap from a slumbering state to sleep, but is it possible to time leap even if I am not lucid dreaming?
Of course. Yes. We just were saying earlier, it might not be as powerful. If you're lucid dreaming, you're not operating with the same level of limitation that you are when you're physical. When you're lucid dreaming, if you have a lot of skill, you're capable of creating bigger and more powerful effects on that level than you would be able to if you were still bound by your body. But if you are awake and you're using your body, you can still create a time leap, but the effect may be more mild. It might not be as dramatic. It might be more like this, yes? For example, the channel is not really lucid dreaming in the way that many of you think of lucid dreaming, but through the channel relaxing, the time leap is still able to take place, but it's more casual. Yes, it's more just information transference rather than him completely jumping into my world. We're just sharing ideas. And this is an example of a mild time leap. So this can be done while awake, yes, and you can use it to receive energy and information from other dimensions that you simultaneously exist upon.
Good.
Yes.
So 24th question. How can I make it easier to shift into the parallel world I want? For example, I would like to know how to make a parallel shift so that, for example, a disease that had not been cured before is suddenly cured, or a debt that someone had been carrying is no longer there, or something else that is not a fantasy, but it's so clear that someone can see it clearly.
Yes, this is all possible, absolutely. Yes, the more powerful you become, the more of a say you have in your collective reality. If you become so powerful that you are essentially an avatar of the source on earth, just as Jesus was an avatar of the source, yes? If you become an avatar of the source, then what you think, what you project, what you believe happens. And it happens in bigger and bigger and bigger ways the more powerful you get. That's what the splitting prism is. When we talk about the splitting prism of parallel realities, what makes that prism split is all of you recognizing you can create your own world. So now you're all creating in your own unique ways, and that's what actually creates the split. You're all creating your own perfected universes as you split further and further apart. And then eventually all of these universes will come back together. All of these different realities, once they have been purified, will come back together as one reality. Yes, that is what the splitting prism is, and that's how it shall end. All of these different timelines that have gotten so far apart, so different, so divergent, will now find a common point that allows them all to come together. Thanks. We have time for one more question.
Okay, so the final quick question is, could you give us advice or message for someone who is going to try to make a time leap?
Well, we've given quite a bit of that already. So think of all the things we've said earlier in this recording. Listen back. That's key here. The number one thing we would say is really ask yourself why you wish to make the time leap, and is that really what you need to do? Just get in touch with that. What's the root of your desire? Why do you want the time leap? What does it represent to you? What do you think you will get from it? Why do you think it will help you? How do you think it will improve your life? And then look at all those things and ask yourself, is it the best way to get those things done? Or is there another way? Is there another path? Is there something simpler? Is there something more immediate that I could access that can do those things? And if so, we would recommend act on those things. Now, if it is your greatest excitement truly to open up such a portal and to make such a jump permanently, well, we would advise follow your passion, but really be honest with yourself, because there are some choices once made you do not unmake. Always remember this. There are some choices once they are made They cannot really be unmade. Now, ultimately, everything changes, yes. So that which is made will eventually become that which is unmade in terms of your experience of change. But ultimately, you must keep in mind that there are some choices where you cannot really go back after that. So a powerful time leap is one of those choices. So just be honest with yourself. If that's really what you want, then sure, go for it. That is our final advice. And of course, have fun.
Yes. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Our unconditional love to you and to all members of your Earth and human family and all beings. We will speak to you again soon. Aveo. Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Of course, you are very welcome. It is always a pleasure to see you, my friend. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful morning in Tokyo.
Yes.
Tokyo. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, until next time, Mori.
Yeah, thank you so much. Next time.
Oh, well, next time. Bye-bye.